Rain hammered on the windshield like the sky was trying to drown the city. I kept my eyes on the road, hands steady on the wheel. The leather smelled like wet asphalt and perfume. Her perfume. Maya sat in the back seat, silent. No phone, no music. Just her breathing. I could feel her gaze in the rearview mirror. "You're quiet today," I said. She didn't look away. "Keep driving." Her voice was sharper than usual. Less bored, more ... shaken. The red light ahead glowed like a warning. I slowed to a stop. That was when she leaned forward. Close enough that the heat of her breath touched the back of my neck. "Park," she said. "Right here?" The street was empty except for an old brick building with fogged windows. I pulled over. The rain softened, but the air inside the car tightened. She opened her door. Then she paused, turned back. "Come with me." Shouldn't have followed. I knew that. But I stepped out anyway. The building smelled like dust and old paint. She found the light switch. A single bulb flickered to life, revealing blank canvases and a cracked wooden floor. Maya walked to the center of the room. Her hair was damp, her shoulders tense. I closed the door behind me. She turned. "Lock it." I hesitated. "Maya, please." Her voice had a crack in it. Not dramatic, real. I locked the door. The click echoed like something irreversible. She faced me. Her eyes, usually so controlled, were raw. "Do you think I don't see it?" she asked. I frowned. "See what?" "You. The way you look at me when you think I am not looking." I felt my heart beat in my throat. "Maya, I'm your driver. That is what they told you to be." She stepped closer. Her heels tapped on the wood. "Not what you are." I took a step back. She followed. Her fingers hovered near my chest. Not touching. Just close enough that I could feel the warmth of her skin. "Do not pretend you haven't noticed me, Armand." Hearing my name from her lips felt like a door unlocking in my chest. I swallowed. "I notice everything. That is the problem." She exhaled, almost a laugh, almost a sob. "Everyone thinks I have everything." Her voice shook. "But I have never been chosen. Not once. Not for me. Only for what I am worth." I didn't know what to say, so I stepped closer. Not touching. Just being there. The storm outside roared like the world was ending. She looked up at me. Her eyes were shining, but she wasn't crying. "Stay," she whispered. Something inside me leaned forward. Something dangerous. But I stopped myself. "Maya, why did you bring me here?" Her jaw trembled. She reached behind her and placed her hand on the door. She turned the lock again. This time slower. "You already know," she said. The bulb flickered above us. My pulse hammered. "Maya," I said quietly. "Tell me." She lifted her face to mine. "'Cause I don't want to be alone." Tonight, the room fell silent. I felt everything at once. The fear, the want, the line I was about to cross onto. And then someone banged on the door, loud, urgent. "Maya, open the door." My blood ran. Cold. I knew that voice. Asterisk, her fingers were still on the lock when I stepped back. The air between us felt heavy, warm, dangerous. "Maya," I said. "I am your driver." She let out a sharp laugh. Not amused. More like something inside her was splintering. "That is what they told you to be," she said. "They assign you a title and expect you to live inside it, like a box." She walked deeper into the studio. The lights flickered against peeling paint and forgotten canvases. She stopped in front of one. A girl painted behind a pane of glass, eyes wide, hands pressed forward. Beautiful and desperate. Maya touched the frame. "This used to be mine." I watched her shoulders tense. She looked like the girl in the painting. Someone who looked free from the outside but was suffocating on the inside. I spoke carefully. "You used to paint." "That?" She nodded. "Before everything became about being perfect, pretty, controlled." The rain softened against the roof. I could hear her breathing. My own heart beat in my ears. She turned toward me again, slowly, like she was afraid I would disappear if she moved too fast. "When I look at you," she said, "I do not feel like I am being watched. I feel seen." I swallowed. You should not say things like that. Why? Because of status? She stepped closer. Because my last name is heavier than yours? Her perfume wrapped around me. I took one step back. Not because I wanted to, but because I needed to. I work for your family. My job is to drive. Get you home. Make sure you are safe. That is it. She looked at me like the words physically hurt her. Do you really believe that is all you are? She asked, before I could answer. Her phone buzzed on the table. She ignored it. It buzzed again, persistent, demanding. My eyes landed on the screen. Ryan, calling a name I had heard whispered. The charming heir. The rumored fiancé. The one who walked beside her in photos at events. In the future, everyone had already written for her. Her face changed when she saw me notice. Just a flicker, but enough to feel the temperature shift. Do not say a word, she said. I held her gaze. Maya, are you running from him? The question fell into the room like a stone dropped into water. She froze. Her breath caught in her throat. Her eyes shone like she had been found out. He does not get to decide everything I do, she whispered. That was not what I asked. Her throat tightened. She looked away, her hand gripping her own arm, holding herself together. I do not want to talk about him, she said. Maybe that is why you should. She took a step toward me. Closer than before, close enough that I could feel the heat of her skin through the space between us. Aman, she said quietly. If I tell you the truth about him, about all of it, you will not look at me the same. I felt something shift inside my chest. Try me. She closed her eyes. The phone rang again, louder this time. She opened her eyes, and I saw fear. Not vanity. Not arrogance. Fear of losing something, or someone. She walked past me and reached for the phone, but she did not answer. She turned to me instead. Asked if I am running from him. Her voice trembled. I am running from everyone. Phone stopped ringing. Silence after it felt like a storm holding its breath. Then a shadow moved. Behind the studio's frosted glass window, a silhouette. Someone was outside, watching. Rain still clung to her hair when we stepped out of the studio. The air smelled like wet concrete and something unfinished. She didn't speak. Neither did I. I unlocked the car. She slipped into the back seat again, as if the world needed the distance between us. The engine hummed. The city lights blurred. I drove halfway to her house. Her voice broke the silence. Keep going, she said. I glanced at her in the mirror. Maya, it is late.
Please.
Just keep driving. So I did. We climbed the roads that curled around the hills, the city glowing beneath us like scattered gold. I parked at the overlook. The wind was cold. I stepped out. She joined me. For a while we just stood there watching the city breathe. She spoke first. Everyone thinks I am ungrateful, spoiled, a princess who has everything. Her voice was steady, but her hands were trembling. They do not see the price. Every choice made for me, every step planned before I take it. A golden cage is still a cage. I looked at her profile. The wind pushed her hair back. She looked nothing like the girl in the gossip pages. I asked quietly, what about before all this? Before the expectations? Was there someone who understood you? She nodded. Her eyes softened with memory. There was a boy, my best friend. We used to run away to paint by the lake. He left. Said the world would swallow him if he stayed near me. I heard the hurt she tried to hide. Not dramatic. Just lived in. You cared about him, I said. I thought he was the only one who saw me. She turned to me. Until now. The words hung between us. My pulse quickened. Her eyes found mine. Too close. Too real. I took a slow step back. Maya, you do not know what you are doing. She gave a small, sad smile. I know exactly what I'm doing. For the first time, the city lights flickered below us. The night felt like it was waiting for something to happen. I wanted to stay in that moment. I wanted to believe I could choose her too. But wanting and having are different things. I finally said, "We should go."
Oh.
She nodded, but something had already changed in the air. When we pulled up to her house, the gate lights snapped on. Someone stood outside under the porch lamp at Rianne, tall, sharp suit, hands in his pockets like he owned the space around him. His eyes went to her first. Gentle smile. Practiced charm. Then he looked at me, or rather, through me, like I was furniture, background, replaceable. He stepped forward. "Maya, I was calling you." She froze, shoulders tightening. I walked around the car to open her door. My job, my place. She stepped out, and then she did something that burned through every rule I had left. Her hand reached for my arm, just a touch, light, but filled with meaning. I could not pretend to ignore. Ryan saw it. His jaw tightened. Everything inside me told me to step back, but I didn't move. The night cracked. Open. Ryan's voice was calm. To calm, "Driver, I think we need to talk." The way he said driver felt like a warning. My hand curled into a fist before I could stop it. I knew. This was the night I should have walked away, but I didn't. Asterisk, his hand hit the concrete pillar beside my head. Not loud, not violent, just controlled. The kind of control that comes from being told your whole life that you will always win. The parking basement smelled like gasoline and echoing footsteps. My uniform felt tighter than usual. Ryan stood close enough that I could see the faint cologne on his collar. Expensive, cold. "People like you are replaceable," he said. His voice was calm, practiced. "You drive. You open doors. You disappear. That is your role." I met his eyes. I did not speak. He waited for me to respond. When I didn't, something sharp flashed across his face. "Do not confuse proximity with importance," he said. "She gets attached to Isley. It is a phase. She will be done soon." Stayed still. Completely still. His jaw clenched. "Do not forget where you stand." I stepped aside so he could pass. Not out of fear. Out of refusal to engage. That made it worse for him than if I had argued. I saw it in the way his shoulders tightened. He walked away. His footsteps echoed. My heartbeat slowly settled, but something inside me had shifted. Lines had been drawn. I finished my shift in silence. At noon, my phone buzzed. "Do not come today, Maya." No explanation. No tone, just distance. I stared at the screen for a long time before putting the phone down. I tried to work. Tried to breathe normally, but something felt wrong. Like a song cut off mid-dash note. Evening draped over the building when my phone rang again. Unknown number. I answered, "Armin. This is Anaya, Maya's mother." Her voice was soft and tired. A woman who had learned how to speak without showing the edges of panic? "Is Maya with you?" she asked. My chest tightened. "No, I've not seen her since last night." Silence followed, and it was heavy. "She left the house this afternoon," Anaya said. "She took a company vehicle. The staff believed she was with you." I felt the floor tilt. "Which vehicle?" I asked. "The black sedan." "Accessed with your employee code?" I exhaled sharply.
I code.
"I did not authorize anything, I know." Her voice trembled. "Armand?" She looked frightened. "The security footage." Her eyes were red. She was crying. The static on the call matched the ringing in my ears. "Where did she go?" I asked. "We do not know. We only know where she started." My name appeared in the incident report. I could already feel the consequences rushing toward me. The weight of suspicion. The whisper of scandal. Anaya spoke again, softer this time. "She trusts you. More than she should. If she contacts anyone, it will be you." The call ended. I sat alone in the break room. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. The world kept turning while mine stopped. My phone was silent. No message from her. No sign. Just the memory of her hand on my arm. The way she had looked at me on the hill. I replayed every moment. Every word something inside me had known she was breaking. I saw the cracks. I saw the loneliness. I should have walked away, but I stayed. The parking garage door slid open. Night air rushed in, and I realized something. She was not just running from him. She was running from something much bigger, and she had taken my name with her. The waves outside sounded like they were arguing with the shore. Loud, relentless. I stood at the motel door, my hand shaking before I even knocked. The hallway smelled like old salt water and rust. I could hear her breathing on the other side before the door opened. She looked at me. Her mascara had run down her cheeks. Her hair was messy, like she had been pulling at it. Her eyes were red. Not from anger. From exhaustion, she stepped forward, and I caught her before she collapsed. "I came," I said. She gripped my shirt. I didn't know who else to call. I guided her inside. The room was small. A single lamp. The window rattling from the wind. The air tasted like the sea. She let go of me only when her legs stopped shaking. "I thought you were done with me," she said, voice thin. "I thought so too." She laughed, but it cracked halfway. She sat on the floor beside the bed, pulling her knees close. I sat next to her, not touching, just close enough to feel her warmth like it was a kind of gravity. We listened to the waves, and the clock, and the sound of her trying to steady her breathing. She wiped her cheeks with her sleeve. I ran because I was scared. Of what? Of choosing wrong. I swallowed. My chest felt too tight. Am I the wrong choice? She turned her head slowly. Her eyes searched my face. She didn't answer. That silence was louder than anything. She leaned her shoulder against mine. It was small, barely a touch, but it hit me harder than any embrace. "I didn't want to go through any of this alone," she whispered. The words settled somewhere deep in me, dangerous, soft, real. So we stayed like that, our breathing sinking little by little, the waves crashing, the motel hum low and steady, her shoulder resting against mine. I felt the warmth of her skin through my shirt. I didn't move. I didn't speak. I didn't let myself think too far ahead. At some point, her head dropped gently onto my shoulder. I looked at her. Her eyelashes were stuck together from tears. Her lips parted slightly as she slept. She looked like someone who had been fighting the world alone for far too long. I let myself look at her longer than should have. I closed my eyes, and I slept too. When I woke up, the light coming through the window was soft and cold. The waves were calmer now. She was still leaning against me. Her breathing slow, peaceful, like the storm in her had eased just a little. I knew I had crossed a line. Something unspoken had shifted between us. Something we couldn't take back. She opened her eyes. For a second, she looked at me like I was home. Then her expression changed. A flicker of fear, or guilt, or something she didn't want me to see. She pulled back slowly. "We can't stay like this." I felt something inside me pull tight. "Then tell me what you want," I said. Her lips parted. She looked at me, but she didn't answer. Not yet. And in that silence, the waves started crashing again. The office had never felt so loud. The whispers weren't whispers. They were knives. I walked through the lobby and heads turned like I was a scandal walking on 2 feet. Someone shoved a phone into another's hand. I caught a glimpse of the screen. A grainy lobby camera photo. Me, holding Maya. As we entered the motel, my stomach dropped. I pushed open the glass doors to the upper floor. The HR director was already waiting. "Come with me," she said. My voice cracked. "This is not what it looks like." She didn't blink. Suspension. Effective immediately. "Clear your desk." The words hit like cold water. I heard the rustle of papers. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. The building suddenly felt too small as I walked out. I saw Maya at the end of the hallway, surrounded 3 board members. Her father among them, Mr. Rihan, did not look at me. His jaw was set like concrete. "Maya, step inside," he said to her. She tried to speak. He was only helping me. I left because I was overwhelmed. I called him because I trust him. Enough, her father cut in. Your judgment is compromised. She flinched. I felt that in my chest. The conference room door closed. I was left standing alone. I gathered my things slowly. My nameplate, the pen she once borrowed and never returned until last week, the coffee mug I bought when I got hired. Everything felt heavy. Outside, the city air was colder than earlier. I sat at the bus stop, the metal bench biting through my shirt. My hands wouldn't stop shaking, not from fear, from how easily the truth could be twisted. Minutes passed. Maybe hours. I lost track. Footsteps. Soft ones. Familiar ones. I looked up. Maya stood in front of me. Her hair was pulled back like she came straight from another meeting. Her eyes were tired, reed around the edges. But she was breathing, and she was here. She didn't sit. She held my gaze in silence. So, I stood too. The night noise of the street filled the space between us. Cars, distant music, someone laughing from across the road. The world moved, but we stayed still. I tried to tell them, she said. I know. They think you took advantage of me. The words hit harder than the suspension. You think I did? I asked. Her breath shook. No, I know what I did. I went to you. I chose you. Something in my chest eased and tightened at the same time. We began to walk slowly. No destination. Just movement. Our hands kept brushing. The smallest touch. The smallest spark. I could feel the warmth of her fingertips. The city lights blurred gold against the pavement. The night air carried the scent of sea salt from far beyond the skyline. I wanted to take her hand. I wanted to make the world stop for a second, but she spoke first. She spoke first, quiet barely above the sound of passing cars. They are planning something. My father. The board. It is about you. I stopped walking. What plan? I asked. She turned to face me. Her voice was steady now. To steady. They want to remove you permanently. I remember the sound first, the soft click of the library door closing behind us. The room smelled of old paper and cedar polish, floor-to-ceiling shelves, warm yellow lamps. A place built for silence, not confession. Maya stood a few steps ahead. Of me, her fingers running along the spine of a book like she needed something to anchor her. This is the only room in that house where no one listens, she said. Her voice was low, tired. Like the last few days had wrung her out. I walked closer. I could feel the warmth of her shoulder when I stood beside her. The quiet between us felt charged, like the air before a storm. She looked at me. Not quickly, slowly. Like she was choosing the moment to meet my eyes. I need you to hear me, she said. I'm here, I answered. She took a breath. Her hand was trembling now. She set it flat on the bookshelf to keep it still. I don't want Ryan, she said. My chest tightened. I didn't move. I didn't speak. If I did, I would break something delicate in the air. She stepped closer, one breath's distance. I could feel her warmth, her perfume, the faint shake in her exhale. I never did. It was always them, decisions made for me, people deciding what love should look like for me. I thought I could endure it. I thought I could be who they needed. But that night, I called you, I realized I was done pretending. Her voice didn't shake now. She meant every word. I felt my pulse in my throat. I reached for her hand, stopped myself. Not because I didn't want to, but because wanting was already dangerous, Maya, I whispered. Her eyes shone like she was holding something heavy behind them. Before I could speak again, the door opened. The sound was soft, but it cut the room in half. Ryan walked in, calm, no rush. Like he had all the time in the world. His suit jacket was still buttoned, his hair perfect, expression unreadable. I knew you would bring him here, he said to her. Maya stiffened. Ryan, leave. He didn't look at her. He looked at me. You think this is romance, he said? You think this is about feelings? I didn't respond. His eyes dropped to our near-touching hands. His jaw tensed. Maya and I are engaged. The word hit like a physical blow. I looked at her. She shook her head, small, almost invisible, not in denial. In pain, Ryan continued, his voice cold. Signed agreement. Wedding announcement prepared. Families have already met. It's done. My stomach felt hollow. Like the ground underneath me had been pulled away. Maya, I said, her lips parted, no tears, but she looked like breathing itself hurt. I didn't choose it, she said to me. I didn't choose any of it. Ryan stepped forward. His voice was quiet now. You walked into something far bigger than you understand. I swallowed hard, but I didn't step back. Not this time. The question formed in my chest before I even realized it. If she didn't choose him, then who would she choose now? The night air tasted like salt. We were standing behind the old shipyard where the water slapped against rusted metal. Maya's hands were shaking, not subtle. Full tremors. I had never seen her like this. Maya, look at me, I said. She didn't. Her eyes stayed on the dark water. Please. I tried again. She finally turned. Her face was pale. It's like the truth had been draining her for years. You weren't supposed to be part of my life, she whispered. The words cut before I even understood them. What does that mean? She pulled in a breath so sharp it sounded painful. Everything started before you came, before you ever stood in that uniform. My father's company is collapsing. Investors are pulling out. They needed a merger. Ryan's family agreed. But only if I married him. I felt my chest tighten, but I stayed silent. She wasn't done. They also needed to remove a threat, a legal one, someone who could claim everything by blood. Her voice cracked. She finally looked directly into my eyes. That someone was you. My heartbeat stopped. What are you talking about? I asked. She stepped closer, her hands rising, then stopping midair like she didn't know if she was allowed to touch me. You are not just the driver, she said. The world tilted. I felt the ground, but not my body. You are the biological son of the company's original founder, your father. The man whose name is on every building we stepped past. I couldn't breathe. My father, the one I was told, died working in some factory. The one no one ever talked about. Maya's voice shook harder. They hid you, paid to keep your existence quiet. Because if the world knew, you would inherit the company, not them. Not Ryan's family. You. My hands curled into fists without me realizing. Your father's death, the silence, everything. They erased you to keep control. I laughed, not because it was funny, because I was breaking in you. I asked, where do you fit in this? Maya's eyes filled and overflowed. No drama, no pause, real tears. My family told me to be near you, to watch you, to make sure you never learned anything, to keep you quiet. Close, contained. Anger hit first. Then something worse. You used me. No, she stepped forward fast. At first, yes, but then I saw you. Saw how you looked at people, how you drove with care. You spoke to me like I wasn't some trophy. I stopped following orders. I tried to stay away from you, but I couldn't. Her hands finally reached mine, fingers trembling, desperate. I fell for you long before I knew how badly this would hurt. My throat tightened. My pulse hammered. I pulled my hand away. She flinched, like I struck her. You should have told me, I said. I wanted to, she whispered. I was terrified you would hate me. I stepped back. The wind was cold now. Everything felt sharp. I don't hate you, I said. Her eyes lifted with hope. But I don't know what any of this means anymore. Behind her, headlights approached the dock road. Ryan's car. He was coming, and this time, none of us were walking away unchanged. The wind from the docks still clung to my clothes when we reached the quiet side street near her house. Neither of us spoke. Our steps were slow, like the ground itself had turned heavy. Maya's breathing came unevenly. I heard it before she stopped walking. Arm on, she whispered. I turned. She broke. Not the silent tears I had seen before. Not the guarded sadness. She crumbled, shoulders shaking, hands to her face. The kind of break that comes from holding everything together for too long. I wish I met you before all of this, she said. Before decisions were made for me, before I was trapped, before you were taken from your own life, A voice cut raw. No performance. No control. I stepped forward without thinking, my arms wrapped around her. She didn't resist. She folded into me like she had been waiting for a place to collapse. Her forehead rested against my chest. I felt her heartbeat. Fast. Desperate. "Maya," I said softly. "I don't know what comes next. I don't know how to stand in a world built on lies." She gripped the back of my shirt. "I choose you," she said. "Even if it ruins everything." I wanted to believe it. I wanted that to be enough. But footsteps echoed behind us. A familiar voice called out, "Come inside now, Mr. Rehan." Her father. We followed him through the front entrance of the mansion. Every light was on. The house felt like a courtroom. He stood in the center of the living room, hands behind his back, posture carved from stone. Maya's tears had not dried, but she didn't hide them. He looked at me first. "So, you finally know?" I didn't respond. He shifted his gaze to Maya. "Sit." She did not. He inhaled slowly. "You to think this is about love? It is not. It is about survival. Our family does not have the luxury of choosing based on feeling. This company holds thousands of livelihoods. It is your inheritance to protect." Maya spoke through clenched teeth. "My life is not a transaction. Your life belongs to more than yourself," he replied. Then he turned to me. "And you. You were never meant to return. Your father trusted us to raise his legacy without chaos. You were given a different life. A quiet one. You should have stayed there." Something inside me snapped. "You decided that for me. Not him. Not me." A flicker of something crossed his expression. "Regret, maybe. Or recognition." He exhaled. "This ends tonight." The room went silent. "You will choose," he said. "Both of you." His eyes were sharp, but his voice was controlled. "If you choose each other, the company falls. People lose jobs. The merger fails. We lose everything." He stepped closer. "If you choose the company, you both walk separate paths. No contact. No memories. Nothing remains." Maya's breath. Stuttered. My chest tightened. Her father looked between us like a judge, delivering a final sentence. "Choose. The company or each other." The room held its breath. Maya looked at me, and I had no answer. Asterisk, the storm hit the windows like fists. The living room lights flickered. Everyone stood waiting for me to speak. Maya's father, Ryan. Maya beside me, eyes red but focused. My hands were cold, but my voice came out steady. "I'm not bargaining for the company. I'm choosing her." Silence. Heavy. Thick. Her father's expression didn't change, but I saw the slightest shift in his stance. The kind that happens when something begins to crack. Ryan let out a short breath. Not a laugh. Not quite disbelief. More like resignation. "You're throwing away an empire for a feeling," he said, staring directly at me. I met his gaze. "I'm choosing a life I can live with." Maya's fingers brushed mine. Slow. Deliberate. Then they laced between them. No shaking now, steady. "Sure," her father spoke, tone flat. "You think love is enough to survive the world outside this house?" Maya stepped forward, still holding my hand. "I think surviving without love is worse." He looked at her like she had betrayed a legacy. Maybe she had. "You both walk out that door, and you walk out of this family." Maya didn't look away. "Then watch me." Something in him faltered. For 1 second, I recognized a father who had once loved his child without condition. Then it was gone. He turned away. Ryan stepped closer to Maya, not to threaten, but to understand. "Was any of this ever supposed to include me?" Maya's voice was soft. "I never wanted you hurt. I just didn't want to disappear." Ryan nodded once. Quiet. He looked older than he had a minute ago. "You win, Arman," he said. But this didn't feel like winning. We walked toward the door. The storm outside roared louder. The house seemed to watch us, every painting and hallway reminding us of what we were leaving behind. At the door, her father spoke again. "You will regret this." I turned back. "Maybe, but at least those regrets will be mine." The door opened. Wind rushed in. Rain hit our clothes, cold, wild, honest. We stepped out together. The gate opened to flashing lights, cameras, voices shouting our names. Headlines already being formed. A story written before we even had a chance to speak. Reporters yelled, "Is this an affair? Are you being cut off from the family fortune? Armand, were you hiding your real identity?" Maya squeezed my hand harder. I squeezed back. We didn't answer. We didn't stop. We walked. The city was loud. The rain was heavy. The future was unclear. But she leaned into me, and I steadied her. No one teaches you how to rebuild a life from ashes. No one teaches you how to carry love that costs everything. We reached the street. The storm drenched us, but her smile was small and real. "What now?" she asked. I looked at her, at the girl who chose me when she didn't have to. "Now we live," I said, "and we fight for it." Our fingers stayed interlocked as we stepped forward, not knowing if we would win, but knowing finally this was our beginning.